I am grateful to the Swami Vivekanand Cultural Center, High Commission of India in Maldives, especially Professor Nasreen, for giving me an opportunity to be a part of the 150th of Mahatma Gandhi, and on this auspicious occasion to share my views on a very timely topic, teachings of Mahatma Gandhi in transition from violent to peaceful society. I will start my talk with a short statement of Mahatma Gandhi himself about non-violence. The Mahatma says, "Non-violence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man." Unquote. The whole world cries over the most relevant issue of concern, increasing violence. We are besieged with the stories of brutality, soldiers out of control, terrorism, suicide, murder, and endless incidents of violence across the globe. The violence has not only spread in political and social fronts, but also at individual front with psychoneurotic personalities. Now, where there is all this violence coming from? It is the time to sit back and analyze where is all this violence coming from. It is the time to sit back and analyze the possible cause of this increased violence. To comprehend it, let us understand what non-violence is. Violence is, which is the opposite of non-violence, the use of force to get your way over others. It is to do something by force resulting in terror, killing or taking others' life, corporal hurt, psychological or emotional stress. What we fail to understand is that the root of violence lies in a disintegrated society, meaning a violent society leading to a violent individual. How can we expect a child to grow into a violent being who has been brought up in a society catering to his physical, emotional, and intellectual need with love, care, and respect? In our pursuit of moving from a violent to non-violent society, whose ideas can be better than those of Mahatma Gandhi with his spiritual and ethical doctrine of ahimsa, non-violence, in the context of current global conflicts? With Gandhiji, the concept of philosophy of non-violence achieved a special status. He not only patronized its characteristics but also adopted it as an ideal way of life. He made us understand that the philosophy of non-violence is not a weapon in the weak hand of a coward, but it is a weapon which stays safe in the hands of a strong-willed person. In his own words, ahimsa is the highest ideal. It is meant for the brave, never for the cowardly. No power on earth can subjugate you when you are armed with the sword of ahimsa. Though ahimsa was not a new virtue of humanity invented by Gandhiji, but as old as hills, oceans, and trees. It occupies a high place in the Vedas, the oldest and holiest scriptures of the world, in the Upanishads, holy text of Hinduism and other religious communities. Yet Gandhiji is called a champion of non-violence because, according to Mark Shepard, he raised non-violent action to a level never before achieved. According to Gandhiji, the term non-violence, ahimsa, also connotes strength of mind. Strength of that does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will, courage. Therefore, by ahimsa, he meant love, an active goodwill towards living beings. It is because if you have love and respect for a fellow individual and every living creature, you will then not even think of harming him. Man is the most powerful component of the society, and his power, when cubed with will, can construct or destruct any society. And here we are concerned with a will that is founded on the characteristic spirit of non-violence, to say, observing non-violence in thoughts, speech, and action. Usually, non-violence is supposed to be the absence of violence and peace to be the absence of conflict, but actually, it is to handle conflict through non-violent, ahimsa, and peaceful means. One Upanishad instructed to repeat the single letter Da, which was communicated to the Devas, Manushyas, and Asuras, gods, man and domain, meaning Daman, Data, Dadayam, be self-controlled, be charitable, and be compassionate, is applicable to all mankind. If mankind embraces self-control and compassion, the best practical aspect of ahimsa, we would not be wearing anymore. Gandhiji considered non-violence as the mightiest weapon at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than any weapon of mass destruction. He also gave the concept of satyagraha, which means insistence of truth, to say holding on to the satya or the truth force, another aspect of non-violent resistance or civil resistance. He insisted on making peaceful protest in a democratic way. The aggression, destruction, and wars not only cause death and destruction, but also disintegrate a society or a community, reverting its development. Thus, Gandhiji observed non-violence as a conceptual blueprint for social change, refusing all kinds of violence. He also advocated non-violent actions as an alternative to an acceptance of armed struggle against it. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, renunciation not of action, but inaction. Indian philosophy also states ahimsa paramo dharma, which literally means non-violence is the dharma in grandeur, the highest moral virtue. So, while seeking justice and equality for the masses, a revolution must be devoid of any kind of violence. In order to transform modern human society from a violent to a non-violent one, it is essentially to be rooted in cultural, moral, and ethical values. Gandhiji had insisted on the practice of values like non-violence, truth, simplicity, altruism, and compassion, all connected to the first two, and which are also, according to him, the two sides of the same coin. They have universal application and will never become outdated. They were and are and will always be relevant for a peaceful society. The social change starts from an individual reaching to the society from one to many, from within to without, from microcosmic world to the macrocosmic world. Mahatma Gandhi led a simple life to emphasize that Earth's resources are limited and human beings also should limit their wants. His insistence on the non-violent way of life has also an ecological dimension to it. To have a non-violent society, we also have to be non-violent step by step towards other levels of existence. Like animals, birds, trees and plants, due to the development of science and technology and mushrooming industrialization, man has deviated from these ideas of the Mahatma. Resultantly, terrorism, intergroup conflicts, disputes and crimes are all the byproducts of discounted societies. By adhering to the Gandhian ideals of non-violent social order, we can undoubtedly step forward towards reconstructing a peaceful, loving and democratic world. Non-violence is not only a philosophy, but a state of mind, a way of life, and a means of building a peaceful and prosperous world. And it can be achieved by, number one, achieving peace both inward and outward, or outwardly embracing tolerance and perseverance, loving and respecting every other individual irrespective of caste, color, creed, religious community or nationality. Inwardly overcoming fear, anger, attaining self-control and learning to forgive. Number two, convincing and not controlling others. Trying to impose our ideas or controlling others is a kind of violence that is hazardous for any kind of relationship, be it familiar, social, economic, or political. We must seek to convince and inspire other fellow beings constructively. Even insulting without sound reason in criticizing other is also violence. Let us stay away from it. Punishment can be replaced with reward to have a non-violent society. Number three, developing a sense of humor. Humor can mellow down even the cruelest of beings. A hearty laugh can make us forget our violent thoughts, anger and depression, making us feel light and happy. Humor can act as a therapy tool to cure many emotional and psychological disorders. Number four, preferring vegetarianism as a way of sustaining ourselves. Let us not forget that eating animals is indeed violence. Many researchers have proved that human stomach is not designed to digest flesh, leading to many disorders, giving rise to aggression and short temper. In the Ayurveda, the food that harm body and mind are considered tamasic, and the ones calming on both mind and body are considered sattvic. Indian view of life believes that tamasic food is conducive to producing dark thoughts. An act of violence can only lead to violent thoughts. Number five, learning forgiveness. Taking revenge can never be a solution to a conflict. An eye for eye will make the whole world blind. We need to sit back and reflect where and what went wrong and not just make a hasty reaction in a fit of rage. Living in present, Gautama Buddha, the light of Asia, has said that past is past and no longer exists. Our greatest worries is that we keep the past deed and wrongs alive, though they cannot be undone. Nurturing grace and prejudices is violence for our own thoughts and opinion. No peaceful idea can occur in a violent state of mind. Number 7, beside we have to be spiritual. Mahatma Gandhi always talked about achieving salvation through the Karma Yoga, selfless action. The Raja Yoga, bodily discipline. The Bhakti Yoga, devotional endeavors. And Jnana Yoga, knowledge through mental discipline. And one must bring one's mind, body and soul in harmony, sohar, with each other to experience the inner peace and happiness. This is the path towards realizing and achieving non-violence, or to treat firmly the path of ahimsa. A spiritual person can practice non-violence more easily than an opposite one. And number 8, most important, physically fitness in these days. Gandhiji stressed upon being healthy and fit in body. He adopted a healthy way of life to prove this point himself. He chose to work hard on the Tolstoy farm in South Africa, as we all of us know, to stay fit, and also called upon youth for a spiritualistic and healthy way of life for a better tomorrow. Mahatma Gandhi drew upon the ideals of Indian philosophy and tradition to set his own rules, his own way of life, develop his own logic towards a peaceful society. It is obvious that we all want peace, but do not know the way to it. The above short discussion shows the non-violence is the key, or the basis. Being thoughtful, compassionate, tolerant, firm yet polite, spiritual, healthy in mind and body, and forgiving can only be the characteristic of a non-violent society. Once formed, it will produce peaceful children, and the world will be ruled by happiness, peace and joy. Thank you very much.